Hello, my name is Nikki and I make art and I share it on the internet. If you've been following me on Instagram over the last several months, or I guess since like the summer/fall months of 2020, since it's already the middle of January of 2021, you'll know that I somewhat recently completed a self-initiated 100-day drawing challenge. So I'm going to be talking about my experience with that and answering some of your questions in this video. So the first thing I'm going to talk about is why I would subject myself to this 100-day commitment when I really, absolutely, positively did not have to. And the short answer to that is I wanted to improve my work. And I thought that practicing every single day was going to help me get there quicker than if I practiced maybe like 2 or 3 times a week in between my Animal Crossing sessions. And the slightly longer answer is that I know that challenging myself to do things that I think I have a pretty fair chance of failing at helps me to push past my inner critic and the negative self-talk and just prove to myself that I can reach my goals if I set my mind to it, especially if I have an audience to witness it all. But in all realness, having a tangible goal or target, no matter how grand, is a huge motivator for me because it helps me see progress towards my goals. So for me, I wanted to draw and make art every day, but I couldn't get myself to actually do it until I set this goal, and it really helped me force myself to make art every single day for 100 days. I really wanted to be more comfortable with drawing every day, and I wanted to figure out what exactly it is that I like to draw. And I really wanted to see myself grow as an artist by practicing every single day instead of only whenever I felt like it, which I can tell you is not every day. But as soon as I wrote my little Instagram caption on August 15th, I was like, well, there it is. Guess I'm just 100% committed now. Initially, when I set out to complete this project, I had a couple of goals or desired outcomes outlined for myself, and the biggest one being that I just really wanted to loosen up my drawing practice and I wanted to make art that was fun for me and stop taking everything I do so seriously. Did I achieve this goal? Maybe. Sort of. This challenge really forced me to just let go sometimes and just post something, even if I wasn't really feeling it, because ultimately I knew that I was gonna have to make and post something new the following day, and the day after that, and the day after that. And regardless of whether or not I liked something, it was going on my Instagram feed, and it will continue to get pushed down my profile with every single day that follows, so it didn't really matter if it was objectively good or not. And although I knew this, and I knew that I wasn't gonna make something great every single day for 100 consecutive days, on the days that I wasn't feeling it, I really wasn't feeling it, and I would spend hours trying to make something that I didn't fully hate. But then, I just had to remember that tomorrow is a new day and it's a new opportunity to try again and make something new that I do like. Some days I really did achieve my goal of being more loosey-goosey and having fun with my drawings, and granted this happened more frequently towards the end of the challenge, but that was expected, and I'm becoming more and more happy with the direction of my artwork, and I really do believe that I would not feel this way had I not done this challenge. This leads me to one of my lesser goals that I didn't like explicitly talk about in my Instagram caption so much because it's an insecurity of mine, but I think a lot of young artists struggle with this, and I wanted to be able to see growth and patterns and possibly my own unique style develop in my art over the course of these 100 days. Of course, any seasoned professional artist will tell you that in order to grow and develop your own creative voice and visual identity as an artist is to practice consistently, so that is what I did. I think that because I used this time to explore and experiment so much, I didn't fully get to where I wanted to be by the end of the 100 days, but that's okay. Honestly, I don't think I'll ever truly be satisfied with my work, and I think a lot of artists can relate to that, and that's okay too, because I'm still growing and learning and like developing my skills every time I sit down and draw, and even though I'm not like fully satisfied with where I am right now, I'm still making progress in the direction of where I want to be, and I'm happy with that. Okay, so now, if you are an Instagram follower of mine, you may remember that I asked you in my Instagram stories a little while ago for some questions that you had regarding this challenge, and y'all came through, so thank you for that, and this is your time to shine. First up from the Instagram topics is obstacles. The biggest obstacle that I faced every single day of this challenge, or almost every single day, was what the heck do I even draw? That was the bigger challenge for me some days than the actual drawing was. It was just figuring out what to do because I couldn't just sit around and wait all day for inspiration to strike. I had to draw something. I got some tips from other artists here and there, like pause the TV and draw the characters on the show you're watching, or just draw animals, or I even asked my Instagram followers some days for suggestions. But the thing that helped the most was when October rolled around and all the Inktober prompt lists were coming out, and Furry Little Peach's Peachtober prompt list was my saving grace for that month because, oh my gosh, it was like such a nice break on my brain for being like, what the heck do I draw? Like, some days in the idea department for some of the prompts, I still struggled a little bit, like Bridge. I really didn't want to draw Bridge, and I did not like that drawing. But hey, it is what it is. And some days it was just like, yes, I'm drawing a sword, or I'm drawing a rainbow. This is amazing. It was good. It was a nice break. In terms of the everyday, what do I draw dilemma, I still haven't really overcome that with this challenge, and sometimes I still wish that I was like 6 years old and still had my kid imagination and can just like sit for hours with markers and crayons just drawing dozens of things, but I'm getting there, maybe. Working on it. Also, I wasn't planning on talking about this other obstacle for me today, but I do know it's something that hinders a lot of young, fresh artists exposed to social media, which is why I decided that I do really want to talk about it right now, and that thing is comparison. I know that we all know that we shouldn't compare our journeys to the journeys of anyone else because we all have our own lives and experiences and opportunities and beliefs. But sometimes I would kind of fall down the hole of comparing my artwork to the artwork of like 15, 16, 17-year-old artists I follow on Instagram who make this incredible, beautiful, cohesive, consistent, unique work that is like theirs. And I would look at my own daily experimentations and be like, wow, I suck. And it sounds so ridiculous to say out loud, but like in my head, I'm like, wow, I'm 25 years old and my artwork is nowhere near their level. Like, what is going on here? But then I have to remember, you know, I spent years after high school not making any art whatsoever. Like, I went to university, I had a job. It wasn't like in my field of vision anymore. So I'm trying to like relearn and get back to that now. This is my journey, it's not their journey. The second question I got from Instagram is, did I ever feel like giving up? And what kept me motivated for 100 days? And the answer to that is no. I did not feel like giving up. But I really wasn't sure in the beginning if I was even gonna make it past like day 5. But then I did. And then I got past day 6 and day 7 and day 8. And I realized that I just had to take it one day at a time and only focus on the day that is ahead of me and not worry about the other 95 days of this challenge, because all that matters is today and right now. And the thing that motivated me the most was knowing that I had an audience looking forward to seeing my work every day. Like, all of your kind messages and words of encouragement to me really helped me when I needed it the most. I'm so thankful for all of you for sticking around and sticking around even now, watching this video. And you know, if you're new here, welcome. Hi, I'm Nikki. If you want to stick around too, press the subscribe button and follow me on Instagram. I'd love to have you in this little family because, you know, I love you all. Thank you so much for keeping me going on this. The last question that I'm gonna answer from Instagram was actually asked by a couple of people, which I think is kind of funny, but it's, what was my favorite piece from the whole challenge? Off the top of my head, I'm gonna say that it was day 18, the portrait of Jaden Smith, which is like mildly embarrassing because I was like pretty obsessed with him at the time and his new album, and you know, it's still really good. I still really like it. But I was pretty happy with it because I tried a new brush in Procreate for that, and I really like the deepness of the colors because I like painted it. It was a good one to work on. I did enjoy that, but it was still more in the realism realm that I was trying to get away from in this challenge, which, by the way, that was another goal of mine, was to like kind of stray away from like my reliance on reference photos and like realism in my art and move more towards like my imagination, which is why I think my actual favorite was day 100's picture, because I had a lot of fun working on that. Like, I didn't put so much pressure on myself. I was able to like get that out in like a couple of hours versus like 6 or 7. It was a lot of fun to like play with the person and her like pose. And, you know, cats. I really liked how I started to play with the cats near the end of the challenge too. I thought it was a lot of fun and their expressions, and I enjoyed working on that. It was like a nice little victory at the end of the challenge, was doing that artwork. I'm gonna wrap this video up with one more question, and that is, do I recommend this challenge to you? And the answer is yes. Obviously, absolutely yes. It is a challenge, that's why it's called a challenge. And some days like were tough, but I got to experiment and explore so much during these 100 days doing something that I love to do. Like, I got to play with animations and patterns and textures, and I even got to do my first commission during this period, which was like super great. Doing this for 100 days and sharing my work on social media every single day for 100 days just helped boost my confidence in myself and my art so much. Before, I was so apprehensive to share things on Instagram if it wasn't like absolutely perfect, but throwing something out every single day just helped get me out of that space. So if this is anything at all interesting to you, you stuck around till the end of this video, you're interested in doing this. If this is interesting to you, like, absolutely, I do recommend it. Go for it. Even if you have to like skip a day here or there, that's fine. Or if you want to start with like 50 days or 20 days or no days at all and you just count them as you go, just do it your way. There's no rules, just go for it, just try it. Like, start right now. Close this video and start right now. That's it. I believe in you. This will be a very fun and rewarding experience. And on that note, if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. And even if you didn't, just give it a thumbs up anyway. That way, you know, it can help push this video in front of more people who might actually like to see it. And if you love me and love this video, please subscribe to my channel. I promise I will be uploading more videos this year. It is one of my like top goals. I'm so excited to continue this journey on YouTube. So if you stick around, I will too. If you have any other questions or comments, leave them in the comments down below. I'll be so happy to answer them. All right, okay, bye. Whew, that was a hefty boy. Hefty video. Okay, that's all for now. For real. Okay, bye. I love you.